How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the Enclave. So we are continuing today with Module 4, Fundamentals of Shooting with the Self-Loading Rifle or Carbine. So as always, our fundamentals of shooting are stance, grip, breathing, trigger squeeze, sight picture, sight alignment, and follow through. The order might be a bit jumbled. But yeah, so let us begin with stance. So, the rifle stance, much like the much like the manually operated or the shotgun, is a 4-point grip. So, we have our support hand, our gun hand or main hand, our cheek, and our shoulder. And once all 4 points are connected, the rifle grip is complete. Once again, we have a dog around the tripod. I apologize if things get bumped. Go lie down, buddy. So yeah, that is the standard rifle stance. We then have the same stance kneeling, obviously. Now the perk to kneeling, and we actually cover this more in the business books, which we're going to be covering next. The kneeling stance is the best stance for any encounter in shopping centers or crowded places. Because what happens when you kneel is that the trajectory of the bullet, the angle of your barrel, changes. So that if you were to miss the target, instead of the round carrying on down the passageway of a shopping center, for instance, it's going to go straight up into the roof. Obviously this might still pose a threat in double-story places or whatever, but most of the time it's less likely to cause injury than maintaining a level shooting / standing platform. Now, another thing for the test are going to be, as always, the advantages and disadvantages of the prone position. So the advantage is that you have much better long range accuracy, especially with a rifle like this or the manually operated rifle. You will have much better accuracy in a prone position. But, well, and I suppose you will be a much smaller target to the enemy. But once you are in the prone position, it is very difficult to get out of the prone position. So for those of you who might not be, well, like myself, to be honest, the most agile people in the world, you might not want to have to jump up from a prone position in a split second, you know? So yeah, those are the advantages and disadvantages of using the prone position. And those are pretty universal across all firearms, actually. Moving on next, we have trigger squeeze. So I have demonstrated this several times before, but I will do it again. So you basically want, you guys actually sort of need to see the other side of this for a second. You basically want the first pad of your index finger, the one right at the top, central on the trigger, smooth squeeze all the way back. So you don't want your finger too far through, and you don't want it just on the edge of the trigger. You want central pad on the trigger. So that will be your trigger squeeze. Simple. Yeah, the book actually does have pretty good images of what I just showed you now. So next up we move on to breathing. So as I've said before, you want to ensure that your trigger break, i.e. the gunshot going off, is about midway through your exhale. So take a deep breath in. So the trigger is fully depressed, but you continue to exhale. That is a quick and simple sort of explanation, but yeah, you will work on that as time goes on. So the sight alignment, as always for your test, you are going to want to be able to draw a rudimentary version of this and all that. Like either of the systems. So for these rifles you have a normal 3-bar system like you have on the handguns. You also have the open sight system and the peep sight system. So, I mean, if you want to draw any one of those, you can draw any one of those. They're all going to show the same thing. But as always, if you just remember that one, it'll work for 3 of the 4 firearms. Quite simple. Next up, we have sight picture. Once again, for your test, you are absolutely going to want to know how to do a rudimentary version of that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to be there, you know. And once again, you might not have to, but learn it anyway. It's a good thing to know. And then finally, follow through. So, as with all our other firearms, follow through you will continue to do for a few seconds after you fired a shot what you did before you fired the shot. So you will maintain your stance, you'll maintain your grip, your breathing, your sight picture, sight alignment. If you need to, you can look around, investigate the area, make sure there's no more threats, and then only can we come down to a low ready, or can we completely holster or shoulder whatever our weapon. So yeah, that is follow through. We continue to do everything we just discussed: sight picture, sight alignment, breathing, stance, grip, trigger squeeze, all those sort of things. So continue to do everything that you did before you fired your shot. That is follow through. And that is also the end of the 7 fundamentals of shooting. Magically, we managed to do that in 7 minutes. So about 1 minute per fundamental. That's pretty cool. We're getting better at this. Sadly, as we come to the end of these books, we do have 4 more books though, which are for the professional use. It is the professional use of a handgun, shotgun, self-loading and manually operated rifles. We do have all of those books to go through still. We also have the designated hunting and sports shooting books. That is a serious book though, so I'm not 100% sure if we're going to do that or how we're going to do that. It's going to depend on you guys. You're going to have to let me know whether you want me to go through some of the aspects of that book as well. It is quite an in-depth book, I will be honest. But yeah, that is pretty much that. We are going to move on to Module 5 next. As always, if you feel like I missed something or you have any questions, please comment them down below. And if you enjoyed or learned anything, please like, comment, share and subscribe. As always, if you still have time, check out maybe another video here at the end. And otherwise, peace out.